Hello. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today is Wednesday, December 3rd. What a day. New coaching staff hit the ground running. Obviously, recruiting first day of the early signing period is today. Lane Kiffin was, don't know if he slept much since he's been here. I bet you he didn't miss yoga this morning, though. But he hadn't slept much since he's got to LSU. Obviously, press conference on Monday. Early signing day started today. The window ends on Friday. He flipped some guys from Ole Miss. He's seems like he's in the process of flipping a couple other guys. We've lost a couple guys, but for the most part, our entire class has stayed intact. Obviously, the big one out of Edna Karr that said he wasn't going to sign. What's his name? Anderson? Brown. No, that's Lamar Brown. He hasn't signed yet.
Oh, yeah, he hasn't signed. You're talking about Richard Anderson?
Richard Anderson. Said he wasn't going to sign until later on the week. Ends up signing today after a conversation with Lane Kiffin and Blake Baker last night. That leads me to believe that Blake Baker assured him that he was going to be back here. Obviously, he is still in the running for the Tulane job. He interviewed for the Memphis job. We're going to talk a lot about that. We're going to talk about the other recruiting battles that are still going on. Some of the recruits that we have gotten that we have not gotten yet. Corey Raymond seems like he's back on staff. Finney Jr. signs today. He said he was going to postpone his signing day. That did not happen. That makes me feel like Corey Raymond is going to be retained on staff next year. A lot more to talk about. Obviously, Lane Kiffin still continuing to finalize his coaching staff. Two more hires. Eric Walford, offensive line coach, very experienced offensive line coach with head coach experience. He brings him over here. I would guess to be the offensive line coach. And Dwight Wilson he brought over as the director of recruiting. So his coaching staff is starting to take shape. Obviously, the defensive staff is the biggest one in question. There's still questions about is Frank Wilson going to be retained or not. We shall see about that. The big news, obviously, is what Blake Baker's going to do. We're going to talk about that. But all in all, I think today was a really good day for LSU. LSU basketball on tonight, 6:15, playing on the road at Boston College. Probably be the first big-name matchup they've had all season. We'll see how they perform in that game. But got a big show for you today. It's Ask Mike. It's Wednesday. It's Ask Mikey and Mitch. Throw your questions in the chat if you haven't done so already. We're joined by producer Lloyd's been on top of everything all week.
The Pulse.
All week. He is the Pulse.
Oh, I got roasted. Did I tell you this online?
Again?
No.
About not showering?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you told us that on Monday.
Nice.
'Cause
I'm always here.
Right. You're always here. You're working hard.
If it rains, it's a shower.
Correct. The latest...
They literally call them showers.
The latest college football playoff rankings came out, which are very important because it kind of puts you in a position to where this team may or may not get into the playoffs. Seems like Texas are trying to keep them out. Obviously, 3 losses. They're ranked 13 in the latest college football rankings. We're going to talk a little bit about that as well. Told you we're joined by Lloyd. We're also joined by our 2-time national champion, once in football, once in baseball, first-round draft pick for the Chicago White Sox, media pundit for SEC Network, our co-host Jared Mitchell. Jay Mitch, welcome back to the show.
How you boys living? What's going on, man?
Good, man.
I heard it's kind of cold out there right now.
Yeah, a little chill, a little nipply. It's all right though. I like it. Got the Christmas decorations set up last night. There's a debate whether or not we were going to do it or not, but I took everything down and.
Does it feel better?
And you put everything up too, right?
I put the tree up, and Allie did some of the other decorations that weren't as strenuous, and then the Christmas tree is being decorated tonight, which she's not looking forward to that, but we're gonna make it happen. Maybe make some hot chocolate, put the fire on.
Again, or what?
Oh, nutcrackers are out. I did that. I put those out. I did the front door. I had someone else put the lights on my house. I'm not going to do that. I tried that one year, and that was not fun.
All about holiday lighting.
All about I'm big holiday lighting.
No, it's a Tingle & Co. sponsor.
Oh.
So I hope it was them. Maybe,
it was not them.
Oh, well, it could have been better then.
I'm sorry. It was not them.
Okay. Could have got you a deal.
It was, my yard guy does it.
Oh.
Yep.
Would you rather a roofer up there on your roof?
No.
Oh.
Because he's not getting on top of my roof. He's just doing the.
You could get into.
That's more expensive.
You could have gotten an appraisal.
It's more expensive.
Free appraisals.
Oh, that's great. It's great. It's
all about holiday lighting.
Yep. Okay. We'll do that. All right.
Wait,
Go. What?
You don't do like I guess this is for. I guess when you have the babe, like, do you get to make like decorating
The baby.
the baby,
Yeah. The
the
baby.
wee lad,
The puppy.
yeah, it.
This
Are
is
y'all-
groundbreaking right now, folks. By the way, we got the Grinch asking about Christmas cheer a little
That's
bit.
it.
So
Yeah.
What are you asking? When we have the baby, what's going to happen?
Are you gonna make it? It's like in our family, the putting up of the tree and the decorated tree is like tradition. It's like a huge deal. Like whether it was in like
Was it a debate on who put the top the
we don't have a
topper?
star. It's
Or
actually
an angel?
or an angel. Our angel actually we do have. It is a ornament my dad made of a penthouse flyer he got in New Orleans. So it's been the same angel.
Nice.
I think that's her name every year.
Nice
she goes
tradition.
atop the tree.
Nice
yes.
tradition.
But it's a good time for it. Like it's like mom makes sure we have to go do everything that you're talking about, get all the decorations down, do all that thing. It's a pain in the ass.
Yep.
But we all we put on Christmas music
Well,
and make cocktails and then
so
break an ornament or two.
yeah, I mean we do that in our way. I mean I don't think the first year of having the baby is going to make much of a difference because he doesn't know what the heck's going to be happening.
Year 7.
Year 2 probably.
Yeah.
What I'm not looking forward to, and Jared, you're going to be in this position too,
Not me.
is whenever our kids get old enough for the elf on the shelf shit.
Oh, you don't do it.
Like, and look,
Y'all did that growing up. We didn't do Elf on the
we
Shelf
didn't
growing
have
up. Like,
elf in the shelf wasn't a thing growing up. This happened over the last like 10 years, and now it's like the elf comes in and brings small gifts, right? And now it's marketing genius, by the way. Like, they've created this elf on the shelf thing. Kids love it, and now because you're not supposed to be able to you can't touch the elf, right? That's the rule apparently.
Tell that to the kids, yeah, sure.
But now they created Elf on the Shelf has a companion, and it's a dog.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And
juice.
you can talk to the kids can talk to the dog and play with the dog and keep the dog there, and the dog technically relays messages to the elf for the kids. So this is a new thing.
It's like a push present.
This is a new thing, and now it's a marketing. It's just unbelievable marketing. Unbelievable marketing.
It sounds awful because then I've heard like you move the elf on the shelf and it does like
You got to move it.
Yeah.
If you don't move it, then the kid's like, "What's happened?"
elf. The Christmas is gone.
But the kids have to be about 4 or 5 years old probably before they really understand it. So we have some time, but that's I'm not really looking forward to that. So we shall see. You know who else is great at marketing? Is Lane
LSU
Kiffin.
and Lane Kiffin.
Yes. And obviously the whole Lane Kiffin thing has been the talk of sports, college sports, really sports in general for the last 2 weeks, specifically even more so the last couple days after it made it official on Monday with the press conference. But he has hit the ground running in the recruiting trail. Obviously, he's gone out there, and it feels like he has brought in some guys that he wanted to. It feels like our wide receiver room has been upgraded with some of the guys he brought in, and everybody talking about some of the guys that maybe aren't coming. I think that was probably a conversation with Lane. Hey, we're going to go get these guys to replace these guys, and they probably let them walk. A couple big names that people didn't know what was going to happen after this coaching change. Two of them have signed, and Finney and I'm gonna forget his last name again. Richard.
Oh yeah, Dick Anderson.
Richard Anderson. So Richard Anderson obviously made his decision, and Finney Jr. made his decision. Two big ones. There's I think 6 or 7 out there that are waiting until the end of the week to sign. There's a couple flips that they may potentially have. Feels like they have they've found their footing here in Baton Rouge. It feels like they're starting to ease some of the concerns of the recruits. Obviously, Blake Baker is a big question mark, but Blake Baker was in these meetings with some of these guys, and they're a reason why they signed, which leads me to believe that Blake Baker will be here next year and will not take the head coaching job. I don't have any information on that other than what I'm seeing through the reading between the lines. Jared, do you feel that same way?
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I would imagine that if Blake Baker's in the meeting room with some of these recruits and they're trying to get this thing across the finish line, look, At the end of the day, I guess there could be some kind of affinity, if you will, for while he's still on the job to finish the job, if he's doing the job to get things right for LSU, but he also does not owe that to LSU. Like, he wouldn't have to do that if he was leaving. I feel like he's still here. He'll be here through this thing. And that's why you're doing something like that. And because, it's hard to kind of go and, I guess, somewhat deceive the player and then move on to the next spot. So I think he's here, which is great because I think you keep that continuity on the defensive staff and the things that they're doing defensively schematically. So I think that part of it is great, and it allows you to move forward and put the rest of the offensive staff together. That way you can have a full staff and kind of go forward with everything.
Who's not having a good time? Penn State.
Goal.
Penn State's got 2 recruits. I don't think they've signed yet. I'd imagine they're going to have 0 recruits. They have swung and missed on every head coach that they have talked to or had interest in. If Penn State says, there's interest in this coach, that coach is signing with that same team, their team. They're re-signing, re-upping their contract. I know a guy out there that's looking for employment that's the most successful coach on the market.
That's a great way to say it, too. He's looking for employment. I'm not exactly sure he's looking for work.
Correct. But look, going back up to an area that maybe he's a little bit more
comfortable
in. A team that is looking for a leader of their team. And, they would do us a big favor if they went ahead and signed him and brought him in there. Him as in Brian Kelly. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but they're running out of options. They ain't got many options left.
It kind of feels like it's going to be one of those first-timer type situations, right? Like, it's either, like you said, you're either going with what's left of the known market or you're pulling someone who has not been a head coach yet, and here's your first job right here. This is what it kind of feels like to me. You're
seeing a bunch of coordinators get their jobs. Obviously, Brian Hartline just took the USF job, and you're seeing a couple other guys get hired on. I think the
Oregon offensive coordinator.
What job did he take?
Kentucky's from there.
Kentucky's job. So you're starting to see some of the coordinators get plucked. I don't know who's going to be the next in line over there, but they are definitely in a pickle.
Well, they had an opportunity, right? They were going to go after BYU's head coach, correct?
Well, and then Crumble Cookie.
Crumble Cookie got in the way. He crumbled the deal.
Did you see what they did? You didn't see what Crumble
Cookie
sent Penn State athletic director a box of Crumble Cookies?
And they also sent Crumble Cookies to Virginia Tech. Just because, why not?
Just because.
I don't know what connection they have to Penn State, but that is a cold-blooded move. Well, you're getting like Crumble Cookie did this to us, or Penn State. You got Crumble Cookie? Like, that has to be a real shot across the bow. Like, what did we do?
How about this?
You were just in the college football playoff. I know I'm not the biggest maybe the biggest Penn State hater.
Well, and the crazy thing about it is, like, you fired James. I get it. I think that was an emotional decision for them. You fire him, and he's taking all the recruits to Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's recruiting class is significantly better than they ever anticipated them being. So good that there's a quarterback from St. Thomas More in Lafayette that was committed to Virginia Tech, and then once James Franklin got there and brought over his quarterback recruit from Penn State, the kid from St. Thomas More decommitted and is reopening his recruitment. So James Franklin's obviously bringing his guys in, and I would imagine it's going to be a significant upgrade to Virginia Tech's roster. You know what else is very crazy, and I think this is just a snapshot of how college football is now. Vanderbilt flipped the number 1 quarterback in the country from Georgia to go to Vanderbilt, and they flipped one of the top receivers in the country from Alabama to go to Vanderbilt. 5 years ago, you could have told me this, and I'd have said, I'll give you $1 million if that happened.
I'd have taken you to a hospital.
This is also what we've been talking about when we knew about when NIL and the portal really opened up, and we knew that these numbers could be crazy and that there was really no cap on this thing. At that time, we were literally like, so you're telling me it could basically pop up anywhere. Anybody that can tap into a strong alumni basis, or alumni basis that has some successful people that are some football and got strong feelings about their former school, like, it could pop up anywhere. We're kind of seeing that come to fruition right now, and I think it's kind of crazy because that's where the landscape of this thing is. Whoever thought somebody would just be turning down a Penn State job is like, nah, we good. We'll build this thing at BYU. I'm good. I ain't.
Yeah, it's a crazy deal. Look, Nashville's a great place to be. And if you have a good football team and you're seeing what they're doing right now, Diego Pavia is now the front runner to win the Heisman. You look at that and you say, okay, if they can do it there in an awesome city of Nashville, I'm going to go try it. I'm going to go do it. I mean, they obviously have been good. They were decent. They were pretty good last year. They're really good this year. And they're bringing in some talent that Vanderbilt's never seen before. So pretty wild time in college football, which I think we've all known that. But to see it happen like this is pretty crazy. Good for Vanderbilt. Good for Clark Lee. I think ultimately it'll be good for college football. I think you're going to see a lot more seasons like this year where anybody can beat anybody, and it's a gauntlet, which I like. I think it's closer to the NFL now than it's ever been. Obviously, it's never going to be the NFL talent-wise. But as far as parity goes, I think it's good for college football.
Yeah, Oregon has lost their DC and OC this year.
Where did DC go?
Tosh Lupoy.
Oh, that's right. Was it North Texas? No.
Wow.
Where did the North Texas guy went? Because somebody
Cal?
took North Texas.
He went to Cal. North Texas guy went to Oklahoma State.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's like those are where if you're Penn State, you could have salvaged this thing. It's at least you could have had a coach.
Yeah.
After you missed on the BYU head coach, and then you go, why don't you look at Oregon's? Like, are you still playing this game? If we're better than hiring a coordinator, where you
Penn State,
right?
At this point, you can't do that. At this point, you got to hire anybody.
Cruden.
I'd rather them hire Brian Kelly.
Me too. Of course, that's what we all want.
Yeah,
but
they're not going to.
It's never been closer to that being an option than now.
So there was a rumor that the only job that Brian Kelly was very interested, which is kind of weird, but the only job that Brian Kelly was interested in was the Michigan State job, which he didn't get. But that was a weird. I read that and I was like, that's kind of weird. That would be the only job he's really interested in. Feel like Penn State would be a good fit for him. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
But yeah, it would make sense, and because it feels like that's what they're trying to do. Like you should have gotten Oregon's offensive coordinator. You should have tried Eric Morris. You should have, and now you have Hartline, where everybody's like, "Damn, that feels like a good hire."
Yeah. Well, the crazy thing about it is you fired your coach. You're the first team to fire your coach, so you had a jump start on everybody, and you're the last one to sign somebody.
You're still waiting.
Yeah, I mean Kentucky just fired their guy and hired their new guy.
That's because you had a plan,
right?
Hey, look, we're going to fire him because he's coming.
Yeah. ESPN came out with an article, announced who the fourth team was in the Lane Kiffin sweepstakes.
Have you heard this, Jared?
I have not. No, this is news.
Hey,
no, let him guess.
Snake in the grass, trying to go behind the scenes. Nobody knows about it because you wouldn't know because they have a coach that has not fired.
Who do you think it is?
Who do you think it would be?
Give me one hint.
Nope. That's the hint.
They have an active head coach.
They have an active head coach.
USC.
Nope. One more guess.
All right. Answer.
Other coast.
Supposedly,
who's been on the hot seat for the last 3 years?
North Carolina.
Florida State. Florida State, who came out 3 weeks ago and said that Norvell is not getting fired, and then all while still behind the scenes trying to make an offer for Lane Kiffin. How the hell does Norvell feel? Like, damn. Y'all told me I was
exactly. He probably feels exactly how he should feel. Like his ass is on the hot seat, even if they kept him. Like, let's just tell the truth. You tried to do it through the portal 3 years in a row. 1 year great, the last two shit. You got to know at that point, like, all right, bro, but that line's probably getting a little short at this point for me.
Yeah, it's I thought that was pretty interesting. Obviously, it didn't seem like they had a lot of traction there because how are you going to hire someone when you haven't fired someone? But I thought that was pretty interesting.
Well, yeah, how does Norvell feel today?
That's what I'm saying. That's what you're saying. Like, oh man, I know I'm on the hot seat, but damn, y'all trying to hire someone without firing me yet? Like
a little hotter than I thought it was.
Yeah, it's. I don't even know if I'm even sitting down now. I'm like one leg out, 1 foot out the door.
Maybe you should be, though. Maybe you've been sitting down too much. Maybe they say, hey,
Yeah,
get
you're
your
right.
ass up. I'm letting you know.
You're right.
And you're his.
But this is what we talked about over the last few years. For somebody like him and how that university's going is, it's not just about what the coach is getting paid. Is we're putting all this money to you that's going in your pocket, but we're also putting money in these players' pockets, and these are players that you chose. So if you choosing them and the product on the field ain't great, well, there's a lot of money that's going basically that's invested in you. And so you're the decision maker. You're doing all this. You're putting the players on the field, and the product ain't great. Well, bro, I don't know how much longer you gonna stay here, bro.
Yeah, it's
I mean, if you're Norvell's agent, you got to start working the phones here and be like, okay, never mind. This is a little bit hotter than I thought. If they're already looking to fire us.
What? Wait. Time out. What phones is you gonna work?
Penn State.
Who's trying to acquire that?
yeah. Penn State ain't hiring him.
Penn State ain't trying to hire that.
No. Look. Honestly,
He's not in the advantageous situation. The only spot he's in is, well, I better start making some shit work here.
No doubt.
If I want to start.
And honestly, Norvell's opinion is, okay, I knew that I'm fighting for my job every year. This guy they want to hire, it seems like if they're not going to get him, I'm good for this year.
Right.
So, okay, fine. I know that if I don't win, I'm out. I think that's a reality of it.
Oh, it could be 3 games into the year.
Yeah, right. Like if I don't do something different, I'm out. So I think it doesn't really change. You're right. I don't think it really changes his stance because
Far cry from starting off 1-0 with beating Alabama.
yeah, they're holding that against Alabama too.
Mm-hmm. Because he's going to go to Penn State.
Yep. And now look, Texas 9-3. They just beat A&M, right? Top 5 team in the country, top 3 team in the country when they beat them, and obviously 9-3, like they're on the outside looking in. But they went to Ohio State first game of the season, lost them in a close game, and that is one of their 3 losses. I know everybody talks about Florida. Hey, if you want to be there, don't lose to Florida. I get that, but if they don't go to Florida, if they don't go to Ohio State and they play UTSA first game of the season or something, they're 10-2 and they're in the playoffs. So you're going to start. I'd imagine, and we've talked about this a lot, but you're going to start seeing these teams not play these tough out-of-conference games if the committee, who feels like this year has been so bad, and their reasoning on things has been so bad that these teams are going to be like, okay, if you're not going to honor the games that we play and give me credit for playing a good team, then I'm not going to play any good teams, which sucks for college football because those games are fun. Those out-of-conference games are really fun as a fan. I understand it as a team and strategically, but as a fan, I want to see those.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like, in terms of the Notre Dame and Miami conundrum, look, I'm all about who's hot lately, who's doing what. But if the team that you're basically sitting on the teetering pole with, you got the same amount of losses, and one of your losses is to them, even though you won 10 straight, I don't give a damn if you beat the Monstars 10 times in a row. You still lost to us, and we both got the same amount of losses. Your ass got to be under me.
Correct.
So I truly don't understand that one. And I guess maybe they put it in a place to where things can be changed. But as it sits today, as we know that this is how they have it, that's a crazy spot to be in. And once, like you said, if that's what's going to happen, then why on earth would I schedule you early in the year?
Right.
What's the point of it?
Well, it just, we talk about moving the goalposts, right? Like, and a lot of people in arguments like, oh, they're going to move the goalposts, or they're going to move the target back based off of what fits their narrative. And it feels like the committee is doing this. The committee is not giving Vanderbilt credit for the Tennessee win because Tennessee is no longer ranked in the top 25. Well, you know why they're no longer ranked in the top 25? Because Vanderbilt beat their doors off. Like, they were ranked, and then you played them, and they were not ranked because you beat them. And
but don't beat them too bad now.
Like, it's just the reasoning behind some of this stuff is crazy. They said, "Oh, we're not taking into account head to head because they're not next to each other in the rankings." Well, it's because you put them there in the rankings. I mean, like, you created the rankings to where, okay, now we're not gonna go head to head with Miami and Notre Dame because they're not next to each other. Well, that doesn't make much sense either. I think Vanderbilt should get a bigger look at the playoffs than they are, but it feels like they're not. They're going to be on the outside looking in. What happens if Alabama loses to Georgia? Now they're 9-3.
Are they meeting today?
Or they're 10-3.
Is the committee meeting today?
No, they did They did it yesterday.
No.
Oh, they already did it?
Every Tuesday they come out with the new rankings. But, like, Alabama's going to the SEC championship game against Georgia, and they've already beat Georgia. If they go ahead and lose this game, now they're 10-3. Are they going to be in? Are they going to be penalized for playing an extra game? If Duke's 7-5, if Duke somehow wins the ACC championship, are they going to get put in at 8-5? ACC champions.
Do y'all believe there should be a scenario where Alabama should be out after whatever the the results of this next game would be?
No, I think Alabama should be in.
No matter what.
Yes.
65-0.
Well,
I don't think it should matter.
I don't think it should matter.
I'm with y'all. I'm with you on that, Lloyd. Like, I 100% agree with that. We're playing an extra ball game against a team that we already beat. And we beat them at their house.
Right.
Like, I don't give a shit if they beat us 65-0 in this ball game. We should be in. That's crazy.
And they've beaten the more ranked teams than anybody else.
Yeah.
Like, they should 100% be in, right? Ole Miss moved up to 6th. They're probably they're in, right? Now they're just hoping that they get a home playoff game, which I think they will.
Well, hold on. Alabama lost to Florida State.
Yeah, that's what they're holding against them.
Yep.
First game of the season.
But
and then who else they lose to?
Oh, because they beat Vanderbilt head-to-head. But the head-to-head doesn't matter if it's Notre Dame and Miami.
Well, that's the other thing. if Vanderbilt's 10-2 and Alabama's 9-3, does Alabama get in above Vanderbilt? I say yes because they're in the SEC championship game.
You can't get punished for going to play another.
Can't.
Play Georgia again. What if it was?
Can't.
Well, then insert any school.
Then the argument's going to be, oh, well, who's playing the ACC championship game? Virginia and Duke.
And last year it would have been one of the had to get in.
Right, and now they don't have to.
No, it can
New rule is it's the top 5 highest rated conference champions. So if there's another conference champion that's rated higher than them, they'll be in. But that would be a group of 5, which they would already get put in. Right?
But they could have 2 spots.
Maybe they get 2 spots. You're right. Maybe they get 2 spots.
Why wouldn't you just – I think you have to abolish this championship rule because wouldn't it make everything a lot easier if you just put BYU and Miami in or Vanderbilt?
Wait, abolish? What do you mean? What championship rule?
Like, I don't think that – I mean, I do think it's important to win your conference, but look at the conversation we're having around – we should probably talk LSU recruiting.
We are.
In a little bit. But this is an interesting conversation that we stumbled into here because we were just talking about how Alabama and Georgia – that shouldn't matter, right? But for every other conference championship, it seems to matter immensely.
Right. Well, and I think that's because of teams that are in there, right? Like Duke has 5 losses. They should never be in the playoff. Even if they win their conference championship. The highest rated team in the ACC is not even in the conference championship game.
I think if you are in that field of 12, like by the conference championship week, the conference championship can't kick you out. That's what I think it should happen. Now, I'm not saying that just because you get into the conference championship, a la Duke at 7-5, that you should be in the field of 12. But if you're in that field of 12 already, can't get kicked out by the conference championship.
Yeah,
just can't.
I agree with that.
I agree. And then why play it?
And
at that point, right?
I understand that too.
But here's the thing too. Like, as a football coach, man, look, like, football is built so much on move on to the next play, stop worrying about excuses, play the play that's in front of you, do what's ahead of you, and do it as a group. I can't preach that to my team for 12 weeks throughout the summer, throughout the spring, and then all of a sudden we get to this week and I'm like, but if I play my guys,
right,
I don't want to get them hurt, or
right,
I don't want to possibly lose,
well, then,
I don't want to do. You can't preach that.
Correct.
So, like, the things you need to do to be successful as a team, you're taking that away from these teams when you put them in this game. I'd much rather you put them in this game and football coaches have the mindset of, hey, this is going to happen whether we play an extra game or not. And people going to get hurt, and that's just what football is. So if it's on the schedule, which it is now on the schedule, we got to play it. And I'm going to play it with the guys.
Right.
Because, I mean, it's interesting you make that argument because Georgia literally just had this happen to them last year on the the last play of the first half in the SEC championship, Carson Beck pops his UCL, and now you got Gunnar Stockton, who almost also got knocked out of that football game, and you've been going into the college football playoff with your third-string quarterback. If Gunnar Stockton doesn't whatever happened, I don't think he was 100%.
Did y'all hear Joe Burrow talk about this the other day, by the way?
What?
Anybody heard him say about? They asked him before the game, like, I don't remember the exact question, but it was basically kind of, why are you playing in this game in some sort of a way? And he was like, look, we get paid to play a kid's game.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of work that went into me getting out here. I'm going to do this. And I think that's still the mindset you have to take to it as a coach and as these players. And things may happen, dude. Like, I completely understand that. But it's like, if you start doing this where people can get kicked out and they can lose opportunities, then you're almost kind of forcing. I'm not going to say it's going to happen unilaterally across the board, but you're kind of forcing some of these coaches to start trying to make decisions to prepare themselves for the next game, as opposed to, on the schedule, let's go give the best show we got.
Yeah, correct. What?
It's just funny.
Yeah, look, they're never going to – I just think the committee's doing themselves disservice by – just acting like idiots in the way they. I mean, the guy who was the front man for the committee got in trouble, got fired or did whatever, and now it's the guy from Arkansas who's way worse.
Well, he stepped down. He's like, I shouldn't be an AD somewhere. And then they got another AD to do it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So.
Hey, and I think too, like, if we go right back to that whole Notre Dame and Miami conversation, I think at the end of the day, like, even if you're Miami, even if you're Notre Dame and you're sitting there like, hey, we are the hot ones, we are the ones that's won 10 straight, like, yes, we should be in there. This is nonsense, we're not in there. Well, who's the one team that they pit us against that's kicking us out? Oh shit, it's the team that we have the same record as that beat us. Okay.
Yeah.
I think anybody would be okay with that. Like, it's kind of crazy it went the other way, because I think so many people would be on board with, but you got the same record and you lost to them. You can't be ahead of them. You just can't be.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. But we're not – I know we got off on a little tangent on this because I think it is an interesting conversation. But let's talk a little bit of LSU recruiting. Obviously, recruiting is not over with. They had a successful first day of the early signing period. I believe that right now with the commits and signees that they currently have, they're now at the 10th or 11th rated recruiting class. Obviously, there's some more recruits that potentially could come our way. Potentially, you could lose a couple. I feel like they're in a pretty good spot with most of their guys. They have a 5-star recruit that they're trying to flip, which he's postponed his signing, so it seems like they're in a good spot for them. Lloyd, you've been around this thing for a lot longer than us because you talk about it in the morning, you talk about it in the afternoon. You have more insight in the recruiting, whether you want to have it or not. So what's your take on how this class is going to shape up?
I think the more interesting conversation that popped up out of nowhere, right? It became this. I don't know. I guess there was a little bit of reading the room as to what. Okay, now it's. You see all of this pop off on Twitter last night with Lamar Brown and Richard Anderson, and it's what's happening. Everybody looks and turns and points the gun at Frank Wilson. It's like, what is he doing? He's sabotaging LSU football because he didn't give him a chance to be. It's like, who said that? And this is the problem with what's happening with the internet, is everybody can say something, and then I understand it. I was once just somebody that was not privileged to really much information at all. I loved LSU. And then you gave the people a platform that love to tweet about LSU, talk about LSU. They talk themselves into a tizzy.
Right.
There is no better school at formulating a melt than LSU. It's just unbelievable. And they've been online for the past month and tweeting and talking all about LSU and Lane Kiffin, who they're going to get. They weren't going to get him. They're getting fights with Florida. And they're like, well, I'm still looking for that edge.
And a lot of fans, I say it, fans, have become experts.
Experts.
I am by no means an expert. I sit in front of a mic and we just talk from our perspective.
I will venture to say you have the ability and can get and sometimes do get the information. That is more.
I've learned early on. I'm
Right.
not an information breaking show.
But you do know things.
I do know things.
And it's not like I'm announcing this. It's like, oh, maybe this, there's two different ways to go about talking about it. This is unfounded people that have no information. It's my uncle's brother knows a guy that cleans the locker room at U Club.
Correct.
And it's like, oh, they left a piece of paper. And it's like, then it becomes this whole thing. And it's like, you are doing a disservice to LSU.
Well, then you start getting fans that are funny fans, and they start trolling the other fans because they're so ridiculous.
That's all good and
right?
fun.
I had the whole golf thing. Lane Kiffin and Ed Ogeron playing golf at U Club was not real.
No, but they were calling it and making tea times.
That got run with because a friend of mine decided to have a little fun.
Right.
It made a tea time with those two guys that were there. Obviously, were not playing.
And I sniffed that out because I was like, wait, what day is it? I was like, no. There's people that play that day at that time. And I was like, I think I know what's happening here because it makes a lot of sense. But, like, that type of stuff, it does a real disservice to LSU. And, like, you can't be on the internet. Frank Wilson was a hero. Do you not remember what he said when he stepped in as the interim to take the job?
He's still the interim head coach.
Why would he sabotage a team that he's currently coaching?
That he doesn't know if he's going to be with or not. And he hopes to be with them.
Right, and we don't even know if that's ever been a conversation.
Right.
Sure, Lane Kiffin wants to bring in his running backs coach. That's how coaching works.
Right.
You're allowed to bring in a guy that's been with you for 9 years and say, hey, man, you've been with me. I like you as the running backs coach. If this job opened, if I can make the call, which Lane Kiffin was given full autonomy to make whatever changes he wanted, if that's the decision he makes, then you have to trust him that that's what he's going to do. Do I want Frank Wilson to stay on staff? More than anything. Do I want Corey Raymond to stay on staff? More than anything.
Feels like Corey is on staff.
Right, but why would you think anything different?
Right.
And same thing with Frank Wilson. If he wants to be the running backs coach, they can find him an on-field position. It is not the biggest deal in the world. And then it blew up to be this whole song and dance of fuck Frank Wilson, fuck him if you're doing that to LSU. It's like, you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, stop making assumptions.
Right, and then now you first of all, you're making LSU look bad, and now you have people that are like, this does get back to Frank Wilson. And he's like, why the fuck would I want to stay? After everything I just did?
Rumor has come out. An SEC team has joined the race for Ohio State 5-star commit Chris Henry Jr.
Right, who has opened up his
recruitment
because of they got their recruiting coordinator and wide receivers coach taking that. Well, he left to be head coach.
Yeah.
So there's a reason he's doing it. It's like I really do want.
But the funny thing about it is, and I want to get back to you. I want you to kind of talk a little bit more about recruiting. The funny thing about it is everybody that comes out on the transfer, like that is either a recruit or potentially could transfer. Everybody automatically just assumes LSU's in on them because of Lane, which is a great thing to be, right? It's always it's nice to.
It was Alabama, or forever. It was
it
must be Alabama making out they're going to pay him,
right?
And now it's Lane Kiffin's really good at the portal,
right? So back to recruiting. How do you think it's going to shape up?
I think then you have obviously the news of a meeting that definitely did happen, and you have Edna Karr's head coach, and you have the representation of both. Richard Anderson, Lamar Brown, same guy represents both of them. And then you have Lane Kiffin and Blake Baker in there. Obviously, it was like Richard Anderson isn't going to sign either. Then they has the signing day at Edna Karr, which is quite the
which was a long 15 guys.
I would imagine a long ceremony.
We're going to talk about that.
We're going to get to that.
Cut out for that one. Yeah, I like it.
That's a whole day.
Yeah. Cancel school because
you all come to school, but we ain't doing class today. Right. Too many people, too many kids.
They had a banquet. It wasn't a signing ceremony; it was a banquet.
I mean, because at normal high schools, it might be one kid, and it would still be like, you might make it. You'll get out of 3 classes.
No, 15.
15. We might still be there right now.
Right.
But so they have that meeting, and then it becomes, Richard Anderson is going to sign today. It's like, okay, so is everybody going to stop panicking now? And as you should. Then you see Corey Raymond bring in Aiden Hall, also goes to Edna Karr. He signs. So that'll be, maybe Corey Raymond is staying. It's like, why'd you think he was leaving?
Well, then you got Finney Jr.
Yeah.
Who said he was going to postpone it, and
he didn't postpone it.
Right.
So much to do about nothing. And the reason that they are even having that conversation, there's a real world in which Blake Baker leaves and Kevin Peoples leaves with him and Jake Olson leaves with him. It's like, I don't know who my coach is going to be. So I have all the right in the world to be like, I don't know where I'm going yet.
Also, in the day and age of college football, their representation has to make sure that the coaching staff, the new coaching staff, is going to honor the same deal that they had initially agreed to.
Right. So
right? That's just the way it works.
Now you have actual people in the room that aren't 18-year-olds like, I guess I'm just going. And it's like, no, like,
Hold on.
it's not always a money grub of like, oh, well, he'll only go if you pay him more.
Yeah, let's just make sure.
Because it does not help that while it sounded good on paper, it sounded good out loud. To be like, and LSU's pumping in $25 million in NIL. It's like, you know who else heard that? Every person you want to get in NIL is like, oh, you offered me this, but y'all got that?
Correct.
Huh.
Correct.
Seems a little low.
Correct.
And
I think the bigger question is, right, look, Frank Wilson, you can say what you want, but that's not going to be resolved. Maybe they're going to say it later, before the bowl game, whatever. I think the bigger issue, because the recruits that you are waiting on all are coming from the defensive side of the football, right? So the bigger question is, who is going to be my
position coach,
defensive coordinator? Who's going to be running this, right? Because if it's a new one, then the whole staff may be different on the defensive side, right? The fact that Richard Anderson signed, the fact that Finney signed, makes me believe that Blake Baker's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
That Blake Baker is going to end up being the defensive coordinator at LSU next year. And he's going to put together a really good defensive team like he did this year. He's got a lot of talent coming in. I don't think he sits in that meeting with them for 3 hours and gets them to commit and him not come back.
Yeah, I'm not even going to be here. Why am I in this meeting? And why is it 3 hours? Can we?
I mean, I think it's probably exaggerated.
Yeah, just
they probably had dinner.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It was probably like
more fun than you think.
It wasn't 3 hours of sitting right across from you.
Lock the doors.
Yeah, no.
We're figuring this out.
Yeah, it wasn't that.
But yeah, then the only other part of this, the other caveat I'll offer, is the reason I think that the weight in which Frank Wilson does carry in the state of Louisiana, what he does with schools at Edna Karr. You'd like to keep that relationship.
Correct.
I'd imagine, considering there's 15 of them over there.
Correct.
Also, look at who he's already got you on. Did you see Harlan Berry's father and what he said? Yeah, well, if Harlan Berry's going to come back, that's the question every time if you have a good freshman. And it was, we're going to go with whatever. I entrusted my son to Frank Wilson, is essentially what he said. So we will have to reevaluate what's going on at LSU if he's not there.
Correct.
And that's the power that Frank Wilson does wield.
And that is,
but that's not him saying it and going into meetings. You go, I'll take Harlan with me if you don't let me be the running backs coach. It's Jared, just what's going to happen because that's the relationship he has with the players.
Right. And Jared,
it's like everybody's told people so many different times. You have to understand, players, especially now, way more than ever. Players are committing to coaches, not so much schools. They may love LSU, but if LSU ain't giving them the opportunity and they don't have the relationship with the coach and they're not compensated correctly, there's a good chance they're not going to go there because there's so much opportunity to play now, or at least grow the correct way with the right people other places. So, yeah, when you have someone like Frank, who's been in the program, who has a relationship and has gone and gotten a lot of these guys, you would only think that if he's leaving, listen, it's a very small window to get yourself not only a payday in college, but to that next opportunity, which is the next level, which is the league, right? You want to make sure you do those things right. And so if that coach leaves, the one that you trusted, the one that you've put all your trust in, hey, I'm sending my kid off, my son, my child, over there because they have this one guy there, and now that guy's going to leave, why wouldn't you sit back and say, well, time out?
Correct.
Let's at least see because before the opportunity wasn't as open for you to do it. So that conversation never came up as much. But because it's so open for you to do it now, who wouldn't sit back and be like, well, let's time out. Let's see who's coming in. Because maybe there's a coach, maybe there's a school that in the recruiting process as a high school kid, you went through and you said, man, I like this head coach. I really did. I don't know if I vibe with this position coach. Man, I like this head coach. I don't know if I vibe with that position coach, or the other way around. Maybe that happens, and then maybe that's the guy that takes the spot in your new spot. Do you want to stay there?
Right.
Maybe not.
Correct.
So like those are the things that kind of happen where now, because it's so easy for you or to have the opportunity to move. Yeah, I'm not surprised that when you have a guy who's recruited as heavily and as well as Frank has, that if he's possibly gone, that there's multiple people there and even commits that's saying, wait a minute, time out. I don't know if this is the one for me.
Right. Well, look, and it's more so than ever, but it's always had that in a sense, right? No head coach is the head recruiter on every single athlete. Very rarely are they a head recruiter on any athlete.
It's the Yeah,
it's the
closer.
position coaches, the recruiting coordinators. It's all these guys. Blake Baker's the head recruiter on Lamar Brown, not Frank Wilson. Frank Wilson's the secondary recruiter on him. But these players build these relationships with these coaches. Good shot. These players build these relationships with these coaches. And these head coaches, they talk to them. They say, this is what our plan for you, whatever it may be. But he's got a bunch of guys that he's got to coach a team to win, right? And so when you're a young guy and you've built a relationship over the last 2 years, plus with a certain coach on a staff, you feel like when you commit there, this coach is going to have you be in your corner. And you go out and you do everything you need to do, he's going to be the one fighting for you to go out there and get playing time. And so when the guy is not there, of course it's going to raise some questions and it's going to raise some concerns. So I don't blame any of these kids for taking a step back and trying to figure it out. But ultimately, I do think Frank Wilson will be retained. I think it's evident now that Corey Raymond is going to be retained. And then just based off what I'm seeing, it feels like Blake Baker will be back. Probably with a little bit of a raise, even though he's the highest paid assistant in college football.
Well, because you saw the terms of which Tulane's contract was for Summerall, right? We talked about this Monday. It was like what 3.5. It
was like 3.5.
Right, and if you want to make it about money, which I'm sure, and he deserves a raise. I mean, if you have it, spend it on him. And it feels like LSU does have very deep pockets. All of a sudden, whenever my entire life, all everybody did was cry poor about LSU. You can't do that. You can't build this. You can't go. Every time that's happened, every time you said you weren't going to do something, they do it. Like there's never been one time where LSU has been. They always find it. And also because with that, Louisiana is one of the few states that you can pay high school players. And don't you think you pay that not for your high school performance, it's for the expectation that we are very much, this comes with the caveat of you going to LSU.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you'd want to because it's a great school to go to and it's a great offer. If you want to play football there, you get it. But this is also part of it because not every state can do that.
Correct.
But you sign them to a high school, the collective, that's what the money goes to. And at the end of it, before they sign or when they sign, here's the rest of it. And so those are probably what that conversation was with Richard Anderson. And look, even if you are looking around here, you have kind of already made your choice.
Yeah.
But so that's where I think that's what that whole meeting was. And the only real question mark to me is Blake Baker, because your job just got a lot harder if he decides to take the Tulane job because everybody's taken with him. And I don't think it's the worst kept secret in the world that Kyle Williams isn't maybe long for college football. He has a family. He was a scratch golfer at Squire Creek. That seems like a lot of fun.
Played a long time in the NFL.
Right. He doesn't need anything.
Right.
And so if he wants to, he's like, damn, this is a grind. I stepped in because LSU needed somebody at the umpteenth hour, and I did it for a year and was happy to do it. But you all go find somebody else. And then it's Blake Baker, your defensive coordinator, linebackers coach. It's Jake Olson, your safeties coach. It's Kyle Williams and Kevin Peoples. That's 4 more people you have to hire. And
right.
I don't think we're really it's not a far stretch to say that Lane Kiffin's expertise is on what side of the ball?
Yeah, offense, right.
So any offensive hire he makes, we're like, yeah, good. I believe that's a good hire. When it comes to the defensive side, I don't know who really is in that room to make the call.
Yeah, he did hire.
I'm saying, but he's not getting him.
Building. No. Right.
So he'd have to
find someone else.
Right.
Correct. I think we're going to get some news on that here soon, but I do believe he's going to be back. It's Ask Mikey Mitch. 30 questions in the chat. We'll get to them throughout the course of the show. We almost got through an hour of the show, and it feels like it's been 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I think ultimately when it's all said and done, LSU will have a top. I said 8. I think they'd be in the top 8.
Are you including just recruiting?
Just high school recruits. Obviously, transfer portal is going to be a whole different animal.
Yeah, that's where I think.
Listen, Jared, we talked about this. You want to sign a quarterback every class. Didn't sign one last year. Don't have one right now this year. Feels like we're
2 years in a row.
Yeah, it feels like we're about to get one though. Lane seems like he's about to flip this kid that was initially committed to who? He decommitted. Duckworth is his name.
Where was he?
Good God, could you imagine the NIL that kid turned into a star in Louisiana?
Yeah, no shit. But it feels like he is. People are projecting him to flip his commitment to LSU, so that'll be I think he's a top 10 quarterback in the country. That'll be a quarterback commit for this class. Obviously, you have one committed for next year.
South Carolina, he committed there twice.
Yeah, that's right. Committed to South Carolina
This is
twice.
the second time he has stepped away from his commitment to Landon Duckworth.
So it feels like he's going to maybe make his way here. I think Ole Miss was very close to getting him when Lane was there. You have a quarterback commit signed for 2027. The kid from Evangel. Obviously, you have one in your backyard who is rated as the number one quarterback in the country in the 2027 class. Who knows what's going to happen with him now that we have
had
a
an NIL deal with essentially Ole Miss with Matt Bowers.
Right.
Hey, you know what's funny too? Like y'all say that, and I don't know the specifics of this, but I'm just thinking in terms of if this is true and maybe the depths of how this thing went down. Could you imagine though if you're Lane and you tried to get this kid in Ole Miss, and I don't know if it was both times that he committed to South Carolina, or if it was just before one of those times, however it went. But imagine trying to get this kid, you can't get him. He commits to South Carolina twice. You jump to LSU, and all of a sudden he commits to you. If there's no other sign that says, yeah, I made the right move professionally, I don't know what is. Because he's got to be sitting there saying, like, oh, wow, like, that's the power of this engine that's in this car? Holy shit, this is different. And I guess another bar to put on that is, man, after watching what he did with Chambliss, you sit there and you're like, well, I don't really care who he brings in terms of bringing him in that room. I'm going to go ahead and believe in what he can do in building that kid, and let's just see where it goes. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that every one of them is going to be hit.
Right.
I'm just sitting here saying, you believe in whoever he's bringing in, and let's see where it gets to the other side. Because there's one thing that we do know is he's a damn good coach at play calling.
Yep.
So let's go and work on that side.
And he's
He's sitting there 5 weeks in and be like, man, Lane just really ain't calling it right. I don't really know if he's doing it right there.
Yeah.
You know?
And he's a great developer of quarterbacks. And so that's going to be because
that's what you. I mean,
it's going to be an asset for us. Moving forward.
I think it's not a stretch of the imagination to think that Lane Kiffin is going to get a quarterback
every year.
Yeah, but this is of the utmost importance
and look,
to him.
I think he's going to go get a transfer guy too.
That's what I'm saying. It's not just going to be like, sure, LSU would love to have a freshman sign this
He
class.
also doesn't want to start a true freshman.
No, that's
a fact.
But you need depth in that. You have one quarterback.
Yes, you do.
Like, I don't think Colin Hurley's coming back.
You probably have zero quarterbacks because I don't think.
Right now
Van Buren is coming back.
I don't know. It depends on, but that's what I'm saying. It depends on what Lane does. But as of right now, you have one quarterback or you have zero. So that's why Duck has become such a high priority, just to be able to, we got to fill out this room.
Yeah.
Because it's tough to go a very expensive position and go, we need to go sign 3 transfer portal quarterbacks. And they're all, while I'm in the portal, I want to play.
Correct.
And I do think it's easiest to look across where Lane just left and like, Trinidad even get that waiver. Look at what we just did.
Yeah.
And now imagine if we had 10, 12, 15 games together.
Right.
And then you go and, Austin Simmons? Like, I recruited you personally, handpicked. I don't recruit, I've been doing transfer portal basically this entire time.
Right.
Jackson Dart, Trinidad Chambliss, you're my guy. I would love to see you come to LSU. He'd be a redshirt sophomore.
Yeah.
And so he has 2 options that he's very much closely tied to.
Yeah. And look, there's some other guys that are going to be in the portal too. We'll see what happens. All right. Any questions from Ask Mikey and Mitch, or no questions?
We have some questions.
Okay, some questions. I don't want to forget. That's why I want to do it right now.
Yes, of course. I have put a couple in the dock, and then we have some more rolling in. As I think it's just a good time.
What's that?
I think it's just a good time to do Ask Mikey and Mitch.
I think so too.
So I always try to, always got our guy Fonz. So
LSU up by 13 right now.
Oh yeah. I told the boys here that they were talking about they love LSU basketball, Southern Region Medical Center. I was like, I haven't really been able to watch. He's like, get the fuck out. He's like, well, why do I have you in this building if you're not going to watch it? I was like, you don't let me finish. I was like, I'm working at that time. And we were going through this YouTube TV, ESPN debates. Like, we couldn't find the games. He's like, okay, that barely counts.
Yep.
He's like, just don't say that. I was like, watching it now.
Now you're in.
But obviously bad news on that front earlier in the week with Jalen Reed going out.
out for the year with an Achilles injury.
It's funny how the body works, right?
Yeah.
Kinetic chain.
Overcompensate for the knee on the other side.
Achilles.
Yeah, not good.
Ask Mikey and Mitch. Speaking of recruiting from Fonz, Did you verbally commit to anyone other than LSU? If so, how was the call to decommit?
I did not commit anywhere else.
Certainly had eyes for other places.
LSU.
Crimson Tide.
I had some moments. I had some other opportunities. LSU is where I wanted to be, but I didn't get the offer early enough, and so I was looking elsewhere. It all worked out though, but I never had to decommit.
Where you was looking at?
Place up a little north from here. Tuscaloosa,
Northeast,
Alabama. It didn't work out. Look, they didn't offer me a scholarship after that. After I was there,
if they did.
If they did, at the time, I probably would have committed to them, but that probably would have just expedited LSU's offer to me, which I would have committed to LSU. So then I would have had to decommit to commit. Jared?
You want me to answer, or you want me to give some conjecture to your answer?
I want you to answer.
I want the conjecture.
I was only going to say you just wanted to go follow Taylor Dugas so bad. Huh?
I was gonna go.
He'd take you on your visit.
My answer, my answer was no. I didn't commit and decommit anywhere. But I will give a story to kind of how my situation went. I grew up. Both of my parents went to Southern, so I followed Southern football way more than I followed LSU football. I remember being in the stadium when I got a chance to see the late Steve Air McNair play against him, and I was like, oh my God, who on earth is that? Mm-hmm. So that was my first kind of seeing a dual threat, running around type quarterback. That was pretty cool to me. So it came down for me between LSU and South Carolina, and I just remember Steve Spurrier. Steve Spurrier was still the head coach of South Carolina at the time. Steve Spurrier comes to New Iberia, Louisiana, comes to the crib. We sitting on the couch, we talking it, we running it, we talking ball. The conversation, if it drifted to I don't know, the gravy that was on the rice and gravy, it got right back to football. Everything got right back to football. The conversation went nowhere if it wasn't football. And I remember they walked out. The South Carolina group that was there walked out, and I remember thinking to myself, there's no shot this man is going to let me play baseball too. No chance. I'm going to LSU. And that's literally, for me, that's really how the decision got made.
And what's crazy is that year, whenever you were getting recruited, South Carolina was the best baseball team out there. Right? Yep. They had that. They're in the middle of that stretch where they were
2 straight.
No. This is way before that.
No. That was after, but
yeah,
they were. So here's the thing. I don't think people realize this too. The 2 straight they won, if you really know SEC baseball and you really know South Carolina baseball, those years prior to that, they had some absolute titans.
Yeah.
Some ridiculous dudes on the squad, some ridiculously good teams, and then it just so happened that you threw some Jackie Bradley Jr. and some Whit Merrifields and some of these guys together on these other teams, and they were able to put it together 2 years in a row. But they had some dogs for 5 years straight before that as well.
Yeah, no doubt.
What position was the old ball coach pitching to you?
Same thing. I was going to play receiver. So, I don't know, just at that time. Yeah, it was kind of weird. At that time, there wasn't really – it was hard to find, especially in the SEC, guys below, 6'2", really getting an opportunity to play quarterback. I'm sitting here at 6 foot. I'm like, dude, I guess maybe, if I felt like I couldn't move and play receiver, I would have been more of a stickler to say, yeah, Doug, let me no, I'm playing quarterback. But I felt like I could do anything at the time. So I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'll play receiver, no big deal. And even when you looked at the NFL model at that time, there wasn't that many guys running around 6 foot or under that you saw with the big schools and this and that. So you're just yeah, whatever. I guess it's the way. I can do that. Yeah, that's easy. No big.
Now, if you fast forward to 2025,
everybody's
you'd be a quarterback.
I'd have never said no. I'd have said, I'm slinging this thing. I don't care where I gotta go.
That would have been elite. Because really, when you look at it, there was no dual threat. That wasn't. And I was like, it's a gimmick. Who would do that? You have to be able to stand in the pocket.
Yeah, or be Vince Young.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You can name them on. Yeah,
that was 6'5". Yeah, Michael Vick was a goddamn unicorn.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
So it's just kind of how it was at the time. So
next,
ask Eminem. How relieving was it to get the call for the official offer?
It was great. I technically
was
a preferred walk-on commit. And then the draft happened, and the leading up to the draft happened, and there was a lot of interest. And then I got a phone call saying, "Hey, we have scholarship money for you. Someone's gonna sign." And so it was more of a relief than anything. It was like, okay, now I feel like I'm there. Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't exactly remember getting the official offer. Like, really, I think I kind of remember seeing the paper with the letter that said it, just being like, "Oh wow, this really happened." But I don't know. There was so much stuff going on at that time, man. Like things were just moving so fast that it was just kind of. I think maybe I felt like for sure there was going to be an offer that came in, so it just didn't really feel like, oh wow, I actually got this one. I don't know. Like, it's really hard for me to go back to that spot and really tell you that. I just felt like I know I'm playing ball at the next level. I'm not exactly sure where. Here's where it's kind of come down to. They've done all this. It's almost like I kind of expected the offer, as opposed at that time. Not like saying like the whole way through it, but by the time the offer came, it was almost kind of like, yeah, okay, this is what I thought was coming through. Let's go.
You didn't want to go to the Twins in the 10th round?
I thought about it for pretty much a summer. And then I said, you know what? I need to go to school a little bit, boys. And that's what I did.
Could have been playing with Torrey Hunter.
Could have been.
All right, ask Mikey and Mitch. Oh, I have to do the scroll.
Okay.
Connor Smith, 1545.
1738.
Ask him if Baker were to leave, who would be potential replacements for him? I was pitched an interesting name.
Who's that?
To be a potential replacement. Let me find it so I don't get it wrong.
Because obviously everybody was talking about DJ Durkin. He's staying at Auburn.
Oh, you know how badly LSU would have been thrown under the bus for hiring Lane Kiffin and then DJ Durkin?
Yeah.
Not the best PR look for like,
right.
They'll sell their soul.
We hired two guys that kill guys.
Yeah. One very prominently known, one very much cleaned up.
Yep. Who do you have the name?
I do. Jeremy Pruitt.
Wow, where's he at?
He's in the NFL.
He's in the NFL. I don't know, honestly, who they would go after if we lost Blake Baker. I would imagine they have they talked about contingency plans on who they would go after, but I don't know. It definitely would put him in a pickle.
Yeah, I don't know either. Obviously, the guy he's been working with for the last number of years is the new head coach at Ole Miss, so it's not going to be there. Yeah, I don't know who you would make that move with at this point. Remember, this is a new head coach for LSU, obviously, so you're sitting here saying, like, hey, in that point, when he comes in, if this move's made, you don't keep him or he chooses to leave, he's got to have strong influence on who you're going to get from that spot, and I don't know who he would be going to get at that or who he would target.
Well, to add a layer to the Pruitt conversation, obviously they coached together at Alabama for 1 year. He was defensive guy. Lane was always the offensive guy. They both were head coaches at Tennessee at one point.
Both had unceremonious
exits.
Yeah, that's the word. That's
one was obviously Lane was 1 year and I'm dipping, and Jeremy Pruitt got hit with the show cause and was fired and didn't get paid anything, and now he's currently suing the NCAA to try to get back on a college football sideline, it appears. But he did have a 6-year show cause in 2023, so it's still 3 more years.
Yeah, I would imagine he is not going to be that defensive coordinator.
I think he could probably win that suit. It's for recruiting violations. It doesn't even happen anymore.
Yeah.
But that was the only name that I've been pitched that I was like, that makes sense.
I don't know. I don't know who you'd go get. Hopefully we don't have to worry about it.
Hopefully you don't have to worry about it. Ed Orgeron.
No. As a DC, no.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Ask him Bonds. How do you hide your wife's Xmas presents if it's a larger amount, if it's a bigger purchase, if it's like a big buy?
Well, it depends on how the big buy could be small things.
Absolutely.
That's easier to hide. If it's a large in size, then
you pull it up that day.
That's a tough.
Damn it.
That's a tough.
Hopefully, it's not a secret at this point.
Yeah, tough thing to hide.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know your house. I don't know your situation. But it depends. I don't know how everybody's wife, everybody's house, everybody's situation is different. I don't know, man. You just never know. It's kind of hard.
How did y'all? Big and hard, length and girth. How did you find out your wife's wedding ring size?
My wife has three sisters, so I went that direction. Cheat code.
Yep.
I asked her mom, see if her mom could help find a ring that she could help me size. Yeah.
I always found that interesting because when former jeweler here, there's always very interesting strategies to try to figure it out without them knowing.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if y'all had a plan.
Didn't have a plan.
Ask him them from Real NIL Young Boy. Would you guys say we dodged a bullet losing Bryce Underwhelming to Michigan last year? Bro was supposed to be the second coming of Christ, but it looks like a Temu version of Van Buren.
Okay. I will say this. I think that's aggressive. I think he's better than Van Buren. He's a true freshman. Yeah, he didn't go out there and light the world on fire this year. 9 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. But I do think he's going to end up being good. Michigan's just not a really good place for a quarterback to develop. They haven't really developed. J.J. McCarthy's not doing great in the NFL.
That was with Harbaugh.
Yeah, exactly. And he wasn't doing well. He didn't have crazy numbers at Michigan. So I'm not going to say Bryce Underwood is not going to be good. But for what LSU needed last year, now it didn't work out. But for what they needed last year, yeah, I do think that it was ultimately a better move for LSU to allocate that money to someone else and not Bryce Underwood. You got your entire defense because of Bryce Underwood. And I think LSU benefited more not having him than having him based off the roster construction they had at the time. But I'm not willing to say he's going to be bad.
I think he probably will. I don't know what that contract looks like, but I bet he wants to get out of there.
I'll say it like this. I honestly think the dude is ridiculously good in terms of if you watch him move and how he does stuff and what goes on. Mind you, he was a true freshman playing in that situation. I'll also give you as well. So this is the same system that 2 years prior saw them win a national championship and graduate a guy that was the 9th overall pick. Well, that guy only threw for 2,900 yards and 22 touchdowns. Mind you, Garrett Nussmeier threw for 4,000 plus yards a year before. Or last year as well. So that system isn't truly made for top-tier quarterback play. And it obviously shows you it really doesn't matter the talent of the quarterback. You had the 9th or the 10th overall pick who only did that in that same system on a national championship team. They're not asking them to do much to carry the team, to be the actual producer of that team. So I don't know that stat sheet that you saw from him means that he's not a really good player, although it's obviously not very impressive, the numbers. I think the guy's super talented. I just don't know that if they're going to keep that same system, what is the height in terms of what he's going to look like on the stat sheet.
Correct.
Because I think, we obviously watched him very closely in high school, and you're just like, whoa.
Yeah.
I can see the hype.
And you can see it. You watch him play in college, you're like, all right, there's moments. Okay, this kid's bigger, and he's big, he's fast, he's athletic. He understands.
And it's so smooth.
Correct. And he wasn't throwing 15, 16 interceptions. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he had 7 touchdown passes and 12 interceptions. It was 9 touchdowns and 6 picks. He's a true freshman in a good conference. I'm not willing to shut him down. But, yeah, I think as far as what LSU needed and what they were able to get by not getting him, I think it didn't work out as far as wins and losses, but you have a top 15 defense, and a lot of that is attributed to being able to move those funds to those transfers.
Yeah. I wonder if he's on the list. I'm sure he would love to be in Lane Kiffin's offense.
I'm sure he would.
Because God himself could not have showed up and played quarterback at LSU this year and helped.
Correct.
Ask him and You can only eat one for the rest of your life. Gumbo, etouffee, crawfish boil, jambalaya, dirty rice, or boudin.
Chicken and sausage gumbo.
Yeah.
Gumbo.
Chicken and
Easy.
sausage gumbo.
I
No
couldn't
doubt.
imagine never having it again.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Easy.
It's that
A2
time- especially this-
A2 is last on the list for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
you need to have a good one.
I've had good. I mean,
That's the problem. Well, that's the problem because I don't trust everybody's A2
Right.
Right. Like I don't look. I've had good A2 and I'm not. I like A2 but out of all the ones he just said,
Yeah.
um,
Especially this time of the year.
yeah,
It's gumbo season.
gumbo season. Any others?
Ask him and Lloyd. If you're the AD of Ole Miss, why would you let Charlie Weiss come back but not Lane Kiffin?
Because I think he realized, okay, what can we do that is not going to crush us in the playoff? Our playoff.
That we might not lose. That we
Yeah.
might lose in the first round of a home
Or
game.
what
the
are we going
first
to
time
do
we've ever
for them
been
not
here.
to kick us out of the playoffs, right? Where we don't have to bring back Lane Kiffin because we've already made that bet, and where we feel like we can control the narrative. And I think the best thing was Charlie Weiss Jr. They said, 3 weeks ago they made it known that he was going to be able to come back, which Charlie Weiss came back and he thanked Lane for letting him do that. Now I don't know if this was just a battle of PRs. But for all of the issues that they had with Lane going back, poaching players, being hired by somebody else while coaching your other team, it's the same situation you have with Charlie Weiss Jr. He just signed a 3-year deal with LSU. So now he has to go back. My issue is, okay, it's great that you have your play caller back, but like, the players obviously are very jaded at Lane and the staff for leaving. So now you want this guy to come back as an employee of someone else and call plays and have these kids like rally around him? That's going to be tough. It's going to be interesting, but I don't think it does much of a difference as far as they did it because they're going to help themselves in the playoff.
Very true, and I also think too, like it's a good thing Lane doesn't have Charlie's like information or any of that stuff because I would hate to see them do any kind of recruiting or inside work while he's there. Like I don't really think that that's gonna happen now. So they're in a good spot, So I get it, man. Like I think that was kind of somewhat to save face in terms of hey, we still have our offensive unit intact a little bit, but it also looks bad on the other side, like I just kind of alluded to, in the sense of, well, you didn't want him. And look, today was a big day in recruiting in terms of if Lane was still coaching Ole Miss while also have taken, I guess, the head coach in the waiting side, he would have spent his full day today in Ole Miss's office working for LSU. That would kind of be a little weird. I understand that, but I'll go back to what I've said from the start of this thing is you have a chance to do something that you've never done since 1960. I'm putting that over the quote-unquote future of the program. I want to make sure I take care of the now before I start worrying about the future of the program. So for me, I think it's a little weird. I think that would have been a little awkward for them inside that building. But I think you can get past it if you can find yourself getting to that championship game, getting to that opportunity, and then letting Lane walk at that point.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Correct.
I do think it is a tough look for the Ole Miss AD because you did this to yourself. Had you not set an ultimatum, and because it does feel like they did, as much as they're going to say like Lane Kiffin said there wasn't one, it really did feel like there was a decision day looming, whether that be Ole Miss, and that apparently the Egg Bowl was paramount, and with whatever was going to happen, had to coach that one, and then it becomes Lane Kiffin's leaving, and well, he's never coming back here. We're not going to let him coach. No way. We're going to essentially ruin our chances of winning a college football playoff when you very much had the opportunity to do so. And you'd say, Ole Miss is bigger than just one man, especially the man that just built it. Why would we want him around? Because the idea of him poaching the roster is silly to me. He already knows who we would want and how he can get in touch with them. And if anything, if you're Ole Miss, you hope that he stays. And what if he wins a national championship and changes his mind? That would be your pie in the sky idea, but you got so fed up with the fact that he was getting poached and flirting with other teams that you're like, you know what, get him out. And then you look around the room and go, damn, 5 other people on offense got on the boat with him. Who's gonna coach? Who's gonna call plays? And so you had to make a call again. And be like, well, is it such a bad idea if Charlie Weiss comes back. Maybe we can get him to stay. He's like, well, waited too long. He already signed a 3-year deal for $6 million. That ink is dry. So that's not going to happen either unless you're going to pay us $6 million to keep him. And so they cut their nose off to spite their face and ran into a situation where maybe this is the lesser of two evils. We don't look dumb. You still look fucking ridiculous trying to do this because you could have had Lane Kiffin on your sidelines and a legitimate chance to win the college football playoff, but you let your ego get in the way.
Yeah.
And so maybe Charlie can do it. Because I was interested to see who was going to call plays. You said Joe Judge. That's one man.
Right.
They don't, and it's still just one person with Charlie Weiss Jr. So their offense is as skilled as they are. That was Lane Kiffin's baby, and I don't know how many stepfathers it'll take to be able to raise that kid.
Yeah. Stepfathers.
Ask Mikey, Mitch, and Lloyd. Can Lane teach Blake Baker how to stop a dual threat quarterback?
I don't think that. Well, I mean, look, I know we had some dual threat quarterbacks give us issues, but I think that there's a big reason why that happened. And the ones that did, you didn't have your best linebacker on the field that called all the plays, right? I think that made a big difference. You did pretty well against the Arkansas guy, who's a dual threat. He had some plays, but you held their offense to 15 points. I don't think it's a Blake Baker issue. I think that you face some guys that were...
They got everybody.
Yeah, that were good at what they did, and you didn't have your guy in the middle that allowed you to defend that as efficiently as you needed to. With him, when you had him and you had Harold Perkins, I think that you defend that a lot better than when you just have Harold Perkins out there.
I think when you have true dual threat quarterbacks, not guys that are runners, pure runners, or just runners that can actually throw it a little bit, when you got guys who can actually read it a little bit and make decisions, you're going to give up plays. And I feel like the league was filled with that more than it was just I'm a very athletic guy playing quarterback at this point. So I think what you got from them this year was far more improved than what you got from them last year in that situation, meaning LSU's defense playing against dual threat quarterbacks. You got to understand, you're adding, it's 11 on 11 football, right? So when it's 10 on 11, meaning I don't have a dual threat, I have an extra man. I can do a little bit more. But when when you have to factor that number in again now, it becomes one-on-one football across the board for the most part a lot. Mm-hmm. And that makes it really tough. So like when you have a guy that can make those decisions and use his legs or use his arm, you're going to give up some plays. I was very pleased, and I never thought at all, I didn't think at all, like you sat here and said, man, we just couldn't stop those guys this year. If you want to sit here and talk about the Diego Pavia game, well, we're also talking about the Heisman frontrunner. So who cares at this point? You ain't the only one that didn't stop him. So I think when you look at it, it was vastly improved this year from what you saw last year, and I would only imagine, especially with the right personnel, it's only going to get better going forward.
Two more.
Okay.
Ask him.
I'm dealing with a delivery issue for Allie. Mm-hmm. I ordered some Romans.
It's becoming a theme.
They delivered CC's.
Oh, that's not the same.
Not the same.
Pizza or coffee?
Coffee.
Wait, what are Romans?
It's a Lebanese restaurant in Baton Rouge.
You should probably, okay.
Yeah, did you actually order coffee on accident?
No, I did not. I checked.
Yeah.
And he actually took a picture of when he picked it up, and it was Romans. Delivered CC's.
Huh. So are you communicating with him?
No.
You're not going to text him? I mean, that's what you should do.
No, I'm texting him. I'm just going to get my order back. I'm going to get my money back.
So he's going to eat that.
No doubt. No doubt.
Mikey, you do realize why I'm asking you there, right? Like I'm trying to help you out, and I just want you to be okay with that. You know, there's a Romans it's just type in Romans.com and see what comes up for you. I'm trying to help you out, bro, because you ain't doing a good job, and it's a pretty well-known thing to where I would think you would want.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. I would think you would want that cleared up. I'm just trying to help you, bro.
Okay. Money ain't gonna solve that issue.
The Lebanese restaurant.
I'm just trying to help you out, because that's all.
I didn't even think about that. Lebanese restaurant in Baton Rouge.
Order Romans. They got me CC's.
Well, you need to think. Let me tell you that.
This man doesn't need that. He just needs some caffeine. Get him right.
Yeah, that's it.
You said that real crass. I'm like, damn, dog, you saying that?
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, good luck over there.
Yeah.
I don't think DoorDash delivers that.
No, you didn't say DoorDash, dog. You just said delivery.
I did.
And it's
Just
supposed
like
to,
delivery.
supposed to be discreet.
My bad. Okay, next.
Ask him at him. Any idea if Ole Miss players are coming in the transfer portal?
We've gotten a couple. Well, a couple of recruits. I'd imagine. I mean, I don't think they're going to.
They won't announce.
They're not going to
Right,
say that.
right.
I mean, they listen. They shouldn't say anything. They're trying to go win the national championship. So,
But pie in the sky.
I would imagine yes.
Look for that. All I can tell you is if they're still in the playoffs, look for that window. That I don't know the exact date. I think it's like January 2nd or some shit like that. But look for like we talked about. I think I mentioned this on Monday. Look for that Bo Prabula situation. If they're still in the playoffs, there is portal decisions that need to be made, or else you're stuck where you are.
Yeah.
So that would be the one I would look for in terms of Ole Miss players right now. If they're still in the playoffs, if not, we'll find that out real soon.
And look, I think that's part of the reason why they hired Pete Golding too, is hopefully that he's respected enough in the locker room where maybe some of those guys that thought about leaving maybe aren't going to leave because of Pete. But I do believe you're going to get a couple.
Yes, and just to clean up a little bit in case they go. The new 15-day period replaces the previous 2 windows and will include an extra 5-day window for teams who make it to the CFP National Championship. So they would have to make quite the run, but if they just get to the semifinal, they can, they still have time regardless. And this could be another reason why they hired Pete Golding so quickly. Players are also still getting an exception to enter the portal after a head coach leaves their program, but that window is now 15 days, starting 5 days after the new coach is hired.
I understand, too. They didn't just hire Pete Golding. They didn't put an interim tag on him. They specifically said permanent coach.
Uh-huh.
So, very obvious they were trying to say, hey, this thing is still together. Believe in what we got here and stay here.
Correct.
But I think that's part of the Frank Wilson, Kejuan Lacey, Kevin Smith conversation, as maybe Frank's trying to kind of protect his room from, because if Lacey comes, I would imagine somebody's leaving LSU.
Right.
And Frank's probably trying to look like I'm fighting for my guys.
Correct.
Ask him and him. How do we feel about Lane deflecting some of these Louisiana kids from coming to LSU? Look, he said it himself. He goes, I don't care where you went to school. We're going to get the best players.
Wait, ask the question again?
How do we feel about Lane Kiffin deflecting some LSU kids from the recruiting class? Kenneth Darby.
I think that's I'm sure there's some that left on their own accord because they wanted to go somewhere else, and I think that there is some that maybe he said, hey, there's probably not a spot here for you anymore because we're bringing in these guys.
Right.
You can't bring in keep the guys and bring in the guys that he wanted to bring in and keep them all. So I think that was part of it.
Lane wants the best players, and Lane wants to win very quickly. So I would imagine that Lane's looking at it like, we're going to go grab the absolute top high school players that we can find here, and we are going to supplement now through the portal the way we need to until we have built up the classes that we like, that we want for what we're trying to do. So what I think he was trying to say is that, yeah, of course, I'm going to get high school players in Louisiana, but if I don't grab 20 of them and I grab 12, don't be alarmed. If I grab 18 instead of 25, don't be alarmed. I want the top guys that we can get here in this state right now to build in this thing, and then I need to go supplement guys that are ready to play right now in my system the best way that we know how. And I think that's what he's trying to do.
Correct.
Yep. Last one. Are the police at Jared's house that keep seeing red and blue lights?
No, they're not. There's just a TV on the wall, dude. I don't know what else to do at this time. Yeah, they're not. There's no police.
All right.
As I was saying that, there goes the big red one again. No.
They got any Ask Mikey Mitch questions?
Is that it?
Yep.
That's it. Appreciate the Ask Mikey and Mitch. I always enjoy when y'all are part of the show with
Absolutely.
us. All right. Mistake of the day.
Mistake of the day. A little bit of a longer one, but
Okay.
something that I think it's a 2-minute video. But
Is it? Please tell me it's not like the video you showed last time.
what did I show last time?
What was that? Was it a commercial? Yes, it was the AI thing.
Oh, that was weird.
Yeah, please don't do that again.
No, this is sports.
Okay.
So we have a state championship that is good old-fashioned, maybe we spot the ball and run the score up situation, and both coaches get into it a little bit.
Nice.
As it tends to happen. But I want you to focus on, first, just the aesthetic of this guy, and apparently I haven't listened to it yet, but apparently the announcers are all world in this thing.
Oh, nice. So this is the first time you get to listen to it.
Yes, but I have seen it to make sure it was worth playing, and I did think it was funny. But so we have a 14.
Set the scene for me.
Yeah, 14-29, and
the score is 14-29.
23 seconds left.
Okay. Game's over.
Easy time to, run the clock out. Don't have to worry about it. Instead, we have some trickeration going on at the end of the game, and then both coaches, at least the other coach on the other sideline, takes heed to it, and we're about to hear all-time Philly accents apparently on the call.
Perfect.
But this fit is immaculate.
Wow, look at that.
You to take a kneel down, but someone has to say it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the point of it is here, and you got really aggravated coaches here on the Cedar Grove sideline, and rightfully so. This game's in hand. There's 23 seconds left. There's no call for it, and I'm with you, man. I take a back seat on this one.
Glassboro just trying to really.
You're not honoring
punch
the game
that ticket.
I feel and honoring your opponent who pushed you. And now it's going to be a trick play here, and it's going to be a throw from the wide receiver on the far side, and it's going to end up as an incomplete pass. And again, this is not playing a game of Madden. This is not playing video games. And now you're seeing some of the coaches going at it as you're having the coach and Gogarty yelling from the far Cedar Grove sideline. Tim Breaker is motioning as if saying, come and get me here. This is not what it's all about. And that's where I say, and as a broadcaster having covered New Jersey high school football all these years, if you're going to do this challenge yourself in a higher weight class against some of these other teams that would not put up with something like this. And credit to Cedar Grove.
Is he wearing gloves?
And it's a cutoff sweatshirt in the winter with the back says time to go to work.
Wow. This is Bush League, and this is absolutely not necessary. You have the championship. You're going back-to-back.
Do they do another trick play?
No doubt whatsoever you're the top team. Act like it.
There's a
penalty? Is there a penalty?
On the coach for running on the field. Look, he's still over there.
From a commentator's perspective, I don't mean any disrespect. I'm going to remove myself from that situation and just say that I hear you and understand it. And I just want everything to kind of end here.
I just want everybody to have a good time.
Who's trying to get the crowd hyped? Yeah, lost already.
Coach Breaker in the sideline is celebrating over on the near side. There is no doubt in my mind who the best team is. And that is Glassboro.
Wait, we're still not taking a knee.
Plays to do these passing plays, it's not fair. And it could spoil this ending for what should be a nice coronation, because then you're going to see stuff like this where Cedar Grove is trying to pile up.
I mean, I think anything wrong there.
No,
we'll see
the
what
damage
happens
is
next
done.
year, like you said, if there's going to be more of a challenge. But for this year,
good job, Glassboro.
just like last
Congratulations.
year, the ending is a championship bath for Coach Breaker and Glassboro. They finish undefeated and make it 20.
There's no handshake across the field.
No, they did not get to a handshake. I don't think he was going to go over there.
So the mistake of the day is the bush leagueness of that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Just more so the outfit. I thought that was just. I'm not. That's what you're going to wear to the game. Probably going to run a reverse pass to end it.
Seems like they went back-to-back championships.
They did. He's earned it.
Yep.
Do whatever he wants.
There you go. Yeah, that's a little bush league. Bush league.
You definitely play some Madden too, or some NCAA.
Oh yeah,
no doubt. All right, curtain call.
Curtain call. I think we have a show curtain call.
Show curtain call. We talked about it earlier in the show. Kind of alluded to it. Edna Karr has historically been one of the top producers of athletes in Louisiana.
Capita.
Right? And that's of no surprise. But having been around the college football, been around sports for a while and watching it, having 15 athletes, 15 football players in one class sign to go play at four-year colleges is outrageous. And out of those 15, 12 of the 15 went to major Division I schools. The other 2 of them went to Nichols, and 1 of them went to Alabama State, which I'm not throwing any shade at that. They're playing college football at 4-year schools. That's awesome. The other 12 went to schools like LSU, went to school like Texas, went to schools like Washington State, SMU, Ole Miss, I believe. They've gone everywhere around the country, and to have a school have 15 of those of these high school kids go in one class is outrageous to me. So curtain call to those guys because that's pretty cool.
Big curtain call to them, man, and what they're doing over there. They have created an absolute high school factory, man. Like, they've got the players like Aaron Anderson that'll come out of there, Dustin Hill. Like, it's crazy to see what they're doing. And like you said, 15 on one squad going Division I. And if you know, I would love to know what the enrollment rate is or number is in that school, and how many of these guys, like, and what they got going on. Like, this isn't some huge school we're talking about. And so for them to be doing that, it just goes to show what kind of program that football program is. And I forget the last name of the head coach. I know his first name is Bryce, but he has really been one that I think he came up in that program and has really ushered it to a completely different level. And, man, it's impressive to see what they're doing. So that is a huge curtain call to Edna Karr High School.
Look at this list.
I mean, that's pretty
Offensive
crazy.
line, Caden Adams, Alabama A&M. Defensive tackle, Richard Anderson, LSU. Wide receiver, Ja'Kai Anderson, SMU. Edge, Romeo Brown, Nicholls State. Running back, Trey Garrison, Washington State. Safety, Aiden Hall, LSU. DB, Hayward Howard, Texas. Athlete, John Johnson, West Virginia. Linebacker, Kevin Martin, Nicholls State. Tight end, Cameron Munford, Alabama State. Leon Noyle, Mississippi State. Xavier Owens, Fresno State. Sanders, Washington State.
West
Greg
Virginia,
Williams, West
Colorado.
Virginia, Colorado.
Like,
This ain't no slouches.
no. Pretty impressive.
Great day for not having his class.
Yeah, they had a banquet. They didn't have an announcement ceremony. They had a banquet.
I mean, this day is becoming like a yearly thing for them over there.
No doubt.
Like, the way they've been putting them out recently, it's almost like, hey, in December, we're going to have at least one day of school off more than everybody else, because we got half the school that's going to get, they're going to a different spot. We're going to celebrate them today.
Yep, 100%. So kudos to those guys. Coach Bryce. Coach Bryce.
It may be Bryce Brown, too, honestly. I'm not exactly sure, but I know his first name's Bryce.
Yep. Kudos to him for running a program the way he runs it, and obviously has probably a lot of really good relationships with coaches around the country because of the athletes that he produces and because of the teams that he develops, the guys he develops. They're very highly sought after, so that's pretty awesome for him and that program.
Also, mini curtain call.
Okay.
The horror has ended.
Horror.
That's what I said. The horror has ended.
Okay, I thought you said something.
No. Juice Kiffin making its way to campus.
Is that real?
Yeah. There's reports that that's his account.
There's reports that he does. That's not really his dog.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we have to stop slandering this
Yeah.
man. He it's his dog.
Yeah.
And they're like, he leased it out and didn't take care of it, all of which could be very true, but now he's going to not be taken care of in Baton Rouge or by someone else.
He'll have a handler here in Baton Rouge.
Exactly.
All right. That's all we got for you.
Do you think he brings the basketball goal?
I don't know.
I don't think he needs to manufacture
I think you
juice.
got to do something different. If you're going to do something like that, you can't do that.
No.
Can't do that.
I don't think you need to do anything.
No. I think LSU brings their own
Juice.
All right, that's all we got for you on this beautiful Wednesday night. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you can't watch us, please like listening to us or anywhere you get your pods. We're back live in studio on Friday from 1 to 2-ish. We went over this year.
Oh, we did. Oh, a pupper. Hell yeah. Jude's got a new friend. Look at.
Yeah.
Why don't you come here? He's like, no, pet my butt now.
Yeah. I did your show.
Yeah, I made my appearance. Yeah, we went over in our parlay, so we'll talk about individual games on Friday.
We still have a chance. College football playoff.
It's going to be harder.
Yeah. Or easier.
Championship games are going to be harder. We'll see. All right, that's all we got for you. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night. See you on Friday. Peace.
Yeah. Signing day. Fireworks. Uh-oh.
LSU going through